Just go, Julia. No lawyers, no papers. He said it like it meant nothing, leaning on the stair railing like I was already gone. Behind him, Chloe was laughing, moving the furniture that used to be mine. I stayed calm, folding my clothes in silence. My heartbeat steady, not from sadness, but from calculation. Are you sure? No legal separation. No formal divorce. He crossed his arms. What for? You've got your job. I've got mine. Chloe and I want a fresh start. Lawyers just complicate things. My name is Julia Reeves. I'm 42. And until that day, I thought I had a solid marriage. 15 years. A stable home. A quiet life. But stability can be a fragile lie, especially when built on betrayal. He looked at his watch, the one I gave him on our 10th anniversary, and said, "You're in no position to demand anything. The house is in my name. The cars too. Your government job pays well enough. You'll survive." If only he knew what that job really was. I closed the suitcase and looked around. The scent of Chloe's perfume was everywhere. Her bag was on my side of the bed. "You're taking this well." He was expecting tears. Begging maybe. I smiled. Not because I was calm, but because I had known for a long time. I didn't find out through lipstick or texts. I found out through numbers. A wire transfer that didn't belong. An irregular return on a portfolio he thought I'd never notice. I've learned to pick my battles, Eric. But I'm surprised you don't want anything in writing. He shrugged. What for? You leave. Chloe stays. No trace. No trace. That almost made me laugh. As I walked down the stairs, Chloe barely looked up. I left a few things in the office. I'll swing by tomorrow. Whatever. Just text first. I loaded my suitcase into the car. Took one last look through the window. They were already laughing like I had never existed. I grabbed my phone and typed. Everything's set. Target confirmed. No legal documentation. Proceed as planned. Response came immediately. Acknowledged. Team notified. 9 sharp. He never asked what I did for a living. Never realized why I handled all the finances. Why his investments grew faster than anyone else's. Another message came in as I drove. Additional evidence secured. Operation confirmed for tomorrow. At 9 a.m. sharp. Justice would arrive at his door, wearing body armor and holding a federal warrant. Next morning, I was in a surveillance van, coffee in hand, eyes on the live camera feed from the house I used to call home. Everything looked the same. Same curtains. Same front gate. But it wasn't mine anymore. It was just the stage. 7:45 a.m. kitchen lights on. Chloe making his coffee. 8:15 shower running upstairs. He always hummed in the mornings. Like life was his to control. 8:45 adjusting his tie in the hallway mirror. The final act. Target getting ready to leave. Said Agent Lars. All units in position. Voices echoed through my earpiece. You good with this? Agent Nolan asked. He knew it was personal. Better than ever. I said. And meant it. For 3 years, I investigated Eric. What began as suspicion turned into a network of fake companies, offshore accounts, money laundering, serious crimes. Now I understood why he wanted no legal trail between us. 8:55 Eric left the house, briefcase in hand. Same smug smile. Target in motion. Nolan called out. Team 1 move on the house. Team 2 ready to intercept at the office. Ordered Agent Lars. At exactly 9 a.m., the front gate opened. Chloe stepped out, wearing my old robe, confused by the commotion. FBI. We have a search warrant. This must be a mistake. No mistake. Step aside. Meanwhile, Eric was driving toward downtown. Then came the cars. Unmarked. No sirens. Just presence. Target stopped. My phone buzzed. A message from Eric. What did you do? I didn't reply. I just watched. He stepped out with hands raised. That expensive suit suddenly looked small, insignificant. Back at the house, Chloe sat on the couch, shaking. Agents moved through the rooms. Systematic. Precise. First safe located, said one agent, hidden behind the wall in the office. Just like Agent Reeves described. I smiled. Eric used to praise my sense of organization. He never imagined I'd use it against him. Another agent pulled pen drives from the closet, hidden in a tie rack. Encrypted documents. He really left this all within your reach. Nolan whispered. He always thought I was just efficient. I said. He never knew I was paying attention. Did you know the whole time? Lars asked. I found out 3 years ago. I started gathering evidence immediately. He never suspected I was smart enough to understand his world. And the mistress found out about Chloe 3 months ago. Not the first, just the last straw. My phone buzzed. Eric's lawyer. We need to talk. No. Of course they did. Now they were realizing. No joint accounts. No assets in my name. No divorce paperwork. Not to protect him. To make seizure easier. On the monitor, Chloe was being escorted out, crying. She thought she won a life of luxury. Now she was a witness in a federal case. Target in custody. Moving to Phase 2. Phase 2. His office, where colleagues would realize the successful banker was just a fraud in a tailored suit. Another message. From Chloe this time. You knew. Yes. Now you know why he didn't want papers. Lars tapped my shoulder. They need you at HQ. Evidence analysis. I grabbed my FBI jacket. Let's go. Time to show them what a government job really is. 6 months later, I sat in the front row of a federal courtroom. The air was cold. The tension heavy. Every movement felt final. Eric entered in handcuffs, wearing an orange jumpsuit. Hair thinner. Eyes sunken. The man who once walked like the world owed him now shuffled like a shadow. This time, he didn't smile. The evidence I gathered over 3 years was undeniable. Bank records, audio recordings, transaction logs, encrypted emails, all documented, signed, unbreakable. Chloe, now far from the confident mistress, had turned state witness. She traded loyalty for immunity, gave up names, details, locations. All rise. The bailiff called as the judge entered. Eric looked at me. For the first time since his arrest, he was searching. Maybe for guilt, maybe for understanding. But all he found was calm. Mr. Eric Langford, the judge began. You are hereby sentenced to 15 years in federal prison for financial fraud, money laundering, criminal conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. 15 years. One for every year of our marriage. Justice had a sense of irony. Outside the courtroom, Lars handed me a coffee. Funds recovered. House going to auction next week. Chloe's back with her parents. And you? I took a sip. I'm free. He smiled. We did it, Agent Reeves. No, I did it. I replied. Agent Reeves. Eric's lawyer approached me cautiously. I'd like to speak with you. If you're willing. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to walk away. Let silence be my final word. But another part, the one that planned every step, wanted to see his eyes one last time. Minutes later, we sat face to face. A room with no cameras. No distractions. He looked smaller now. His posture folded. His voice shaky. Why did you do this? He asked. His tone no longer angry. Just lost. You know why? Not like this, Julia. You knew all along. You could have warned me. I did. I warned you plenty of times. I asked questions. You ignored them. I raised concerns. You shut me down. He looked away. I never thought your job at the government was important. I finished. You never asked what I actually did. You assumed I was just paperwork and coffee. When did you know? 3 years ago. The night you celebrated that big international deal. The offshore account. That's when I started building the case. You could have helped me. I did. For years. I helped you. Protected you. Believed in you. Until protecting you meant betraying myself. And Chloe. She didn't start this. But she made it easier to end. I stood up to leave. He looked desperate. I'm sorry, Julia. Not just for her. For everything. I paused at the door. For a split second. I remembered who we used to be. Then I let it go. I know. But sometimes, sorry isn't enough. And I walked away. For real this time. Spring arrived slowly. The city softened. Mornings grew lighter. And I did too. I walked to the FBI office with my jacket over my shoulder. A new case waited on my desk. Simple fraud. Nothing thrilling. But something had changed. This time, I was whole. In the months that followed, I learned how to breathe again. Without fear. Without pretending. I picked up my guitar. Went on long walks. Lingered in cafes. Discovered who I was without needing to be useful to anyone. I started meeting with other women. Not as an agent. Just as a woman. You don't have to scream to be heard. I'd say. Sometimes your silence is the sharpest weapon you have. I was offered a new position. Leading a national intelligence unit. I accepted. Not to prove anything. But because I had earned that seat. Eric remained behind bars. The house was gone. Chloe had vanished from social media. Rumor had it she was back in school. And me. I was blooming again. Not all at once. But enough. One evening. Surrounded by colleagues who had become friends. Someone asked me, "Do you regret not arresting him sooner?" I smiled. Looked at the glass in my hand. No. Everything happened exactly how it needed to. And for the first time, I truly believed it. Stories like mine. They aren't just about betrayal. Or revenge. They're about clarity. About knowing the moment pain stops breaking you. And starts building you. I never had to raise my voice. Never had to beg to be seen. I waited. I watched. I planned. And when the time came, I didn't destroy him with anger. I ended it with evidence. Because sometimes, justice doesn't arrive screaming. It comes quietly. With files in hand. And truth as armor. If you've ever been dismissed, ignored, underestimated, let me tell you this. You don't have to shatter to prove you're strong. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced something similar? Or known someone who rose from the silence? Share your story in the comments. Your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this story meant something to you, like it, share it, and subscribe. Because in a world full of noise, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let them see who you've been all along.